it's the Bearded Movie Guy's Halloween Movie Massacre. You watch a lot of movies. They're horror movies. For October Halloween. Let's get to it. Brought to you by the Bearded Movie Guy. Hey, I'm the Bearded Movie Guy, and I'm back. Yeah. Reasons. So I have a lot of spare time on my hands right now, in October, and I thought I'd watch a bunch of horror movies. So I watched 31 horror movies in October, and I'm gonna go through them really, really quickly with all of you. So buckle up. Here we go. Number one, we started the month on Halloween because why not? It's one of the best horror movies of all time. It has Michael Myers. It introduced a whole stalking thing. I absolutely love this movie. Love everything about it. The music in particular. I give it 4.5 out of 5. Boy Camp, a movie that I've heard a bunch about, and that ending, it sticks with you. Has one of the best lines about ingesting excrement, I guess, and living. But I actually didn't like it that much. 2.5 stars. Didn't like it. Wouldn't recommend it. The Visitor is a 1979 movie that I didn't know anything about except the poster, which is the best poster of the bunch of posters of these movies. It has a really interesting color palette and cinematography. It's about Satan and aliens, and I can't really recommend it, but I did like it. But I wouldn't necessarily watch it again. But I did give it 3 stars. Mongolian Death Worm. I saw the poster. Really was hoping it was going to be great. It's terrible. 1.5 stars. Stay far away from this one. It's not. The effects are terrible, and it's not cheesy and fun enough to make it worth your time. Now the Comet is a movie I've heard a lot about. It's basically like a comet comes, and anyone who wasn't in like a steel box, basically almost turned to dust or turned into like a zombie terrible person. Interesting concept. Very 80s. Liked it actually. Would watch it again. Give it 3 stars. The Evil Dead. I've watched this several times. I have never watched the second one until you'll see in a minute. So I watched this one again just to get a feel for it. Inventive. I like it. It's cheesy and crazy. Bruce Campbell's awesome. So yeah, 3.5 stars. I would recommend it. So in the year 2889, I just saw the poster, watched it on Amazon. Don't watch this movie. Terrible movie. It's like radioactive wasteland thing, but it really isn't, and it's just bad acting and really bad cosmetic effects. Yeah, it's boring also. I give it 1 star. I can't recommend enough. Don't watch this movie. Evil Dead 2. So this is the one I'd heard about when I was younger and was told not to watch. And then I finally watched it. I like it more than Evil Dead, and I love how it sets Army of Darkness, which Army of Darkness is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched that before I watched any of the Evil Dead movies. It's great, 4 stars. I recommend it. I like it. Watch it if you know it. It's not for everyone, but it's inventive, and Bruce Campbell is Bruce Campbell. In Search of Darkness is a documentary all about horror movies from the 80s. It's filled with awesome interviews and clips and tons of cool stuff. If you like horror and you like the 80s, yeah, must see. Give it 4 stars. Wouldn't watch it again necessarily because I don't really rewatch documentaries, but watch it and you'll enjoy it. Rebel War is the thing I just saw the poster for on Amazon. Terrible movie. It's The Predator, but as a cyborg. It's awful in pretty much every way, unless you're watching with a bunch of friends. Otherwise, don't watch it. Stay far away. I give it 1 star. Didn't like it. Didn't enjoy it. Candyman. Never seen this. Never seen any of the franchise. It's nice to see a little diversity. Let's, horror people, black people can be there too. It's nice. I actually liked it. Tony Todd is amazing. Tony Todd is great. So I would recommend it, but I wouldn't necessarily watch it again. But I did enjoy it a lot. I give it 3.5 stars. Final Destination, the first one. It's all right. I liked it, and I'd recommend it if you've never seen it, but it's not really all that great. It's 3 stars. I wouldn't watch it again. It's kind of a weird franchise. Death Wants to Kill Me. It would just give you a heart attack. Of a Master. I saw the poster for this when I was younger, and it kind of made me afraid and really wanted to see it at the same time. I don't know. It's interesting. Starts out better than it ends. I like the effects. I want to see the second one, but I wouldn't watch it again. So I can't really recommend it unless you really want this kind of thing. Contamination. Yes, this is basically aliens, but they're from Mars, and it's poorly done. There's a few cool moments, but overall, avoid this. I didn't like it. I wouldn't recommend it. I give it 2.5 stars. Could be worse, but definitely could have been better. Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, so I like this movie. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch it again. And again, I've watched it like 3 times now, but it's really good. I love what it says about society. Zombie movies tend to be social commentaries, I guess. George A. Romero, I like him as a director. He's interesting. There's things I want to hit them for, but overall, really good movie. 4 stars. Watch if you haven't seen it. Troll is hands down the movie of this year. That it's from this year or it's from 2022, but it's the movie that I enjoyed the most that I'd never seen before. It's in another language, but it's really good, and it's actually better than any modern day monster movie I've seen as of the last 10 years. So give it a chance. It's on Netflix. 4 stars. Highly recommend it. Now moving on to a movie I totally don't want you to see. Don't watch this movie. Super Hybrid is awful. It's about a car that's an alien that can make it look like other cars, but it doesn't do a very good job and eat you eventually. I don't know. It's just weird. Don't watch this movie. It's a waste of time. Highly recommend. Do not see this movie. Not even fun. I remember watching Bordello of Blood when I was younger. I thought it was cooler then. Uh, Dennis Miller saves every part of this film that he's in. The rest of it's pretty trash, and yeah, I didn't really like it. I liked it a little bit, Dennis Miller, and I don't know. I don't recommend it. I give it 2 stars. The Crazies. Now there's a remake of this, but this one's the George A. Romero one, and it's interesting. It's very George A. Romero, very George A. Romero, but he does a lot with the little he has usually, and it has a lot of social commentary in there. That's not as heavy-handed as you'd think it would be. I enjoy it and recommend it, but wouldn't necessarily watch it again. Critters is one of his favorite guilty pleasures from youth. I'd never seen it. It's kind of like Gremlins. It's not nearly as entertaining, and surprisingly, they only kill like 2 people. I thought it'd be a bit better than it was, but it's all right. 3 stars. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. I wouldn't watch it again. The Forever Purge. I think this is the last Purge movie. I don't know. Maybe. Purge movies are interesting in certain ways. They're not terrible. It could be worse. I give this 3 stars. It's not very rewatchable, so I'll never see it again. The Black Demon. Yeah, it's like a shark that was brought back from like gods that are it's mad about ecological disaster. It's a movie. I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of boring actually, and has a very heavy-handed message. So 2.5 stars. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff of this over the years, but never saw it. Finally get to watch it. Inventive and funny in parts and creepy in other parts. I liked it. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. If you like these kind of things, I wouldn't necessarily watch it again. John Carpenter's Vampires. Now, it's weird. This doesn't feel very much like a John Carpenter film to me, but apparently it is. It's about a guy who hunts down vampires and kills them for the church, and then there's this big bad vampire. And it's this whole plot. I don't know. James Woods is in it, and he kind of saves the movie for me. Other than that, if he wasn't in it, I don't think I'd like this movie. But I like it. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. I might watch it again one day. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I like Elvira because I like Elvira, but this movie was not great. I liked it to a degree, to 2 degrees, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, and I wouldn't watch it again. Halloween, Season of the Witch. This is weird because it's not connected to the thing, and I know what they were trying to do, but it didn't work. The weird thing about this movie is it terrified me as a kid because of the head melting thing with the mask, but there's no witches in this, so it's a little weird. And there are no witches. Liked it, recommend it if you haven't seen it. Wouldn't watch it again. Knock at the Cabin Door is M. Night Shyamalan's new thing. It's like 4 people showing up at a door or a cottage for people on vacation with their kid. Then saying like, you got to kill one of yourselves or the apocalypse is happening. Interesting concept. Dave Bautista's great. I liked it. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. I wouldn't watch it again necessarily. 3.5 stars though. Dave Bautista's fantastic. Megan, or as we call it, Mathregan, in our house. Kids' parents die. Aunt makes an artificial doll for her, and then it goes overprotective. Better than you think it'd be. Not great, but better. I actually give it 3 stars, and I wouldn't watch it again, but I would recommend it if you haven't seen it. Alligator. So I watched this when I was young, and like it. I've watched it this at least the second time I've seen it. It's got Robert Forster. Really like it. The effects aren't terrible on the crocodile for the time. I like it. I would actually watch this again. I highly recommend it. It's fun and cheesy. Brain Scan. It's very dated. The technology is incredibly dated. And the internal narrative doesn't really hold up when you think about it too much, but I enjoyed it for some reason. So I liked it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, and I'm never going to watch it again. And last up is Mandy. Oh, Mandy. Okay. So Mandy is a visually intriguing, beautiful, horrible, gorgeous, ugly film, and does some amazing things and goes places and does some things that are very different and sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Nicolas Cage is great and loses it and does his Nicolas Cage thing and has a really cool axe. If you like that kind of stuff, I recommend it. I liked it. I would not watch it again. I can't really recommend this for like 90% of the people that I know, but that small 10% would like it. So that's it. 31 films. Thank you guys so much for watching. I might make some more videos. I don't know. Bearded Movie Guy might be back in a limited capacity. But yeah, that was my October watching of movies. I watched a lot of horror movies. So I'm going to take a break for a while, not watch a bunch, and watch some other stuff. Now it's war movies because we're on to Remembrance Day in a couple weeks. So God bless. You have an awesome time. And until next time, YouTube safely.